Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Lush Foliage. In today's video I wanted to talk about something related with the Monstera deliciosa. Now I have heard some people saying that this plant is not toxic. Please guys, don't just go randomly according to what people are telling. The leaves of this plant is toxic. It does contain the calcium oxalate, which can be dangerous if the leaves are ingested. The plant is toxic to humans as well as pets. The only thing is that when the fruit is ripe, the fruit is edible, but the leaves, the stem, the roots of this plant is toxic. So please do not go and eat the leaves just because the plant's fruit are edible when it is ripe. So only when the fruit of the Monstera is ripe, that is when it is edible, but still the plant leaves are toxic. So please don't ingest the leaves. I would always recommend guys, whenever you see any videos on YouTube and if someone is telling you that you can go ahead and eat these leaves or you can eat those leaves, please refrain from doing that. Especially I've seen people telling that if you have an insulin plant, you can eat the flowers and that's going to cure your diabetes. Please don't do that guys, until and unless you do not take the advice from your doctor or a medical representative, because these people are kind of studying and working in that field and they are professionals. So it's always better to take advice from them rather than doing self-medication. Even for that matter, I cannot advise you what to eat from the garden, because a lot of people tell you can go ahead and eat this is very good for your health, or that is very good for your health. Please refrain from doing so, because there are a lot of plants that could be medicinal, that could have the medicinal value, but there is a process of extracting that and we are not very sure. You cannot just pick up any leaves from the garden and start eating, for that matter. Even the flowers as well. What usually happens is that they do contain a lot of components in them. Probably you're not aware about what components are present in that particular plant or in particular flower or in that fruit. Probably you might be allergic to it and it could lead to an allergic reaction. A lot of times these plants, most of these philodendrons, monsteras, pothos, they do contain calcium oxalate in their leaves, which can be really dangerous if it is ingested. So please think before you do anything, before you ingest anything. Ideally, these plants are not toxic if you're going to keep, like for example, I've kept it over here. This plant is not going to be toxic to me. The plant will only be toxic if I'm going to ingest the leaves or if I'm going to eat the leaves or any part of this plant, it can be toxic. So be very careful. Just because someone has told you that you can go ahead and eat and munch on certain leaves, just don't go randomly. Yes, there are certain herbs like you have your mint, you have your parsley, you have basil. These are of course known herbs and known plants that can be eaten, but then don't go randomly picking up any plant and start eating just because someone says that this particular plant has a fruit that is edible. Doesn't mean that you can eat the leaves. Now here is another example. I have an aloe vera plant. We all know that aloe vera has medicinal properties. It's used in cosmetics. In case if you have burns, if you apply a little bit of aloe vera, it tends to cool down. But again, there are a lot of people who tend to get an allergic reaction with aloe vera as well. Not necessary that every allergic reaction will lead to rash or swelling. Some people tend to catch cold after they apply aloe vera, because that is a form of being allergic to a particular product. So it's not necessary that if aloe vera tends to work out really well for me, it is going to be the same for you. It's always better to test it a little bit on your skin before you use. A lot of things that tend to grow in our garden can be a little bit toxic, so we have to be extremely careful. Just because someone has told you that you can eat a particular plant doesn't mean that you go and you start eating it. Probably you might be allergic to something that is present in that plant and that could lead to another serious issue. So just refrain from doing that. So if you're planning to eat something, you always have the professionals out there. You can check with them. Don't go according to what someone says, because again, as I said, probably it might work for the other person, it might not work for you. There could be certain components in the plant that could harm you. So guys, that's all about it. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe and keep propagating.